Hey guys, it's David Clayton with GuitarBreakdown.com. I want to thank you again for stopping by and watching another one of these videos. We have had a lot of requests for this one. Over the last year, we've had so many requests to do this song. It's Guthrie Govan's Waves. We haven't done a Guthrie video in a little while. Now, the reason why we never really did this was because there's so many videos out there, and I think there's a few instructional videos on this and everything. And we just thought that it'd be kind of redundant, but then as we dove into this, as we continued to get more and more requests for it, and we dove into it, we realized there's kind of an avenue of teaching this that hasn't been explored yet, so we wanted to take advantage of that. So what we're going to do is something a little unique with this. We're going to show you the intro melody, or the melody that goes on in several parts of this song. It's a really cool intervallic kind of phrase kind of thing, but it uses a specific technique that we're going to dive into here that is really cool, and it's something that you can explore in your own soloing and all this kind of stuff. So that's going to be kind of cool. We're going to also talk about the first solo right after the intro melody, and we're going to break that down note for note kind of thing. Now, I know Jam Track Central has a package, I believe, and I'll put a link to it below. And I think it's all the songs on the Erotic Cake CD for Guthrie. And if you haven't picked that up, I haven't seen it yet, but everything that Jam Track Central does is awesome. So I would head over there and grab that, and you'll have the tablature for this. We're not going to tab this out. Maybe we will eventually, and put it on our website when that eventually gets up. But anyway, so we're going to dive into this, and of course at the end we're going to talk about a little bit of theory, and again specifically that cool little technique that's going on with this melody. So I hope you guys enjoy this. If you haven't already, please subscribe, click like if you like this video, comment, all that kind of stuff. That all really helps us to kind of figure out what videos people are liking and all that kind of stuff. And also head over to GuitarBreakdown.com. The website's going to be up soon. Keep saying that, I know. But we're going to have a lot of old videos with me preaching. The website's going to be up soon. But check that out. And there's a place to, if you want to donate. We've had a lot of people asking about that, and we've gotten a lot of donations. I really appreciate that. Also, a place to put your email address to get on the list. We're not going to spam you. We're never going to do that kind of thing. But, you know, it'll give us a chance to, when the website is up, we can send an email out to everybody and let them know what's going on and all that. And it won't be, you know, all that often that we send emails, but at least you'll be up to date with what's going on. So again, I thank you for stopping by, watching this, and let's get to the lesson now. Also, I just want to add real quickly, we get a lot of questions about gear and all that kind of stuff, so I want to explain real quick what I'm going through to get this sound. Now, it's not the perfect sound, but at low volumes, when you can't really push the amp a lot, I think this does a great job. I'm going through the Badger 18, and that's going into an RC boost by Exotic Effects, which I usually leave on all the time. It just thickens up the sound a lot. Then I'm going into a Plimsoll, and that's by Full Tone, and I'm just really getting just a little bit of grit from that. But then that goes into one of my new favorite pedals, which is the Wampler Euphoria pedal. And what I really like about this pedal, not only its tone by itself and the range of sounds you can get from it, but it's also one of the only pedals that I know, there's maybe one or two pedals that I've played before that can double up with another pedal. So you could have one gain pedal driving another gain pedal and then out. A lot of times when you do that, things just get really muddied up, or they get really noisy. And the Euphoria pedal is the only one that I've played through that every pedal I've doubled it up with only makes it better, as opposed to like maybe 2 or 3 pedals it works with, then one it just dirties up. Now, so again, I'm getting most of my drive out of the Euphoria pedal, and most of the tone shaping out of that as far as tone and gain. Now, the Plimsoll, again, is just adding a little bit of structure to it. Then it goes into the Strymon Blue Sky, which is a reverb pedal, because I'm using a 112 closed back cabinet, and so I just have to get it to breathe a little bit. Then I go into a Maxon AD999 delay, and again, very low setting, just to get a little bit of room movement to the notes. Then everything goes out into, well, everything goes into the head, which then goes into a Bogner 112 cabinet with a Celestion in it. And it's a closed back. So that's how I'm getting the tones. And if you have any questions about that, definitely, comment or ask. Cool. All right, and real quick, I just want to say that it's, the biggest struggle we have with doing these lessons is the fact of trying to please everyone. We obviously can't, because there's some guys that are more advanced than others. Some guys like a certain way of teaching style than others. And, we try to teach the way we like to teach, or the way we like to have been taught. And it works for us. And it seems to be working for a lot of people, because we're getting a lot of great feedback, a lot of great comments, subscribers, all that kind of stuff. And it's really proving that, to us at least, that we're going down the right path. But we also get a handful of folks that say, oh, I just want to get to the certain section, the learning section, and I don't need note for note. I'll use the tab for that. If that's the way you like to learn, that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a time code here somewhere, and this will tell you where to jump ahead. If you don't want to learn note for note all this stuff, you just want to go to, say, like Jam Track Central and grab the tablature, you can go ahead and do that. But the cool part about this lesson is going to be at this time code, where we're going to break down a little theoretical theory about what's going on with this, so that you can get a lot more out of this than just learning this song and being able to play a really cool song and a cool solo. So if you go to that time code, and it's probably going to be in one of the last videos in this whole series of lessons, you will be brought to the cool part. I think this is all cool, but if you have no patience and you want to jump to that, see you in a little while. All right, thanks. All right, guys, as always, let's start out by talking about the chord progression that's going on behind all this. Now, I'm not sure if these are the actual chord voicings, but this is the general chord progression, so it gives you a foundation or a structure as to, what's going on in this whole song. The chord voicings are probably a little more elaborate, and they may be layered. I actually hear certain voicings, but I'm not actually sure if that's what it is, so I'll just kind of go over this pretty quickly. So it starts out with an F sharp minor chord. Then it goes to an E major chord. Now again, you could play these as bar chords, so. And this is basically in the course of one full measure. You have an F sharp minor chord for a half a beat, then you have an E chord for a half a beat, and then it repeats that for the next measure. So it goes like this. Then it goes to right there. It's a B major 7, or I'm sorry, a B minor 7. That'd be an awful sounding major chord. B minor 7 chord to a C sharp minor 7 chord. Then it goes back to the F sharp minor to an E major, back to the F sharp minor, but this time it's doing it as quarter note beats for each chord, but the last one rings out for a half a beat. So you have quarter note, and then a half note. Then it repeats the whole thing, so it goes. So it does that twice. Then it gets to the next section, and so that's when the melody repeats itself. It goes through the whole melody, then it repeats itself. Then it does a variation of the melody, and on the variation part, these are the chords that are going on behind it. It's a D sus2 chord, so it's basically your D major chord, lifting that F sharp note 2nd fret and leaving it as an open string, an E string, and that will give you an E note, which is the 2nd note in a D major chord, or a D major scale. So you have an E note ringing out with a D major chord. Then you do the same thing to an E major. So instead of having the E major chord, you lift that finger off and you have an E sus2 chord. So it goes from the D to the F sharp minor, E, F sharp again. So that we'll do the whole thing without running through it twice. So it's. then at that point it does again, repeats that D sus2 to the E sus2, and it goes to a B chord, which could be a B11 chord, or just a B bar chord, or it could be the two layered on top of each other. Now, after it does that, it goes to an E chord. It repeats that twice also, but then it goes to an E chord, to an F sharp minor chord, to an A chord, to a D chord. But that's the rhythm of it, but it's actually an A with a C sharp in the bass. So it's your A bar chord with that 4th fret on the A string in the bass. So you have... And then it goes back to the E chord, to the F sharp minor chord, but instead of going to that A with the C in the bass and the D, it goes to a B chord. So it goes... And again, that could be a B11 chord, I think, going on underneath there. So those two parts are basically... So that last time, it goes from the E to the F sharp minor, to the A with the C sharp in the bass, to the D, so... Then it goes to a regular A, to a B. And again, the B could be like a B11 chord. So that's the chord progression, and then it gets into the solo section, or I'm sorry, the solo section is actually that part where it's going from the E to the F sharp to the A with the C sharp in the bass to the D. And all that stuff. That's what's going on below the whole solo section. So that's enough chord talk. Let's break into the melody now.